Nettles? How do you have nettles?
Magic?
This late in the season?
It's a magic farm.
Yeah, apparently you do. Yeah, I'll take nettles. Hi, my name's Evan Leichtling. I'm here at the Columbia City Farmers Market. I'm the chef owner of Off-Alley, just around the corner on Rainier Avenue. And we're going to be shopping like a chef today. And I'm picking up some ingredients for our lamb fat cherry tomatoes, along with a couple other ingredients for our menu. Now we're going to head to Canales Farms to pick up some cherry tomatoes for our lamb fat blistered cherry tomatoes, which has four different ingredients all coming from the market. The first being the cherry tomatoes, which is from we're going to buy from Manny, and then we're going to pick up some eggplants from Alvarez Farms, and then I've already bought the sour cherries from Little Wing, but those aren't in season anymore, but I preserved them all. So first off, Manny. Thank you, and this will do me for today, I think. Actually, you know what, Manny? Can I also get a flat of strawberries? Thank you, friend. All right. Such a pleasure, Manny. Thank you so much. So one of the big benefits of the farmer's market and actually going to the market versus just ordering this product from certain purveyors is I'm able to pick out very specific size of things and look at the quality before I grab them, making sure that everything I grab is freshest with no blemishes, looking for no rot, no bruise spots, but also to being able to get a very specific size for the restaurant, which is really important for us to help us control portion costing. Obviously, if I fill a pepper that's this big, it's a lot more meat for one person versus something that's a little bit more appropriate sized. So able to kind of pick through and hunt out these peppers that are a little bit more based on what my needs are as restaurant goes. So for us to be able to go to the market just a block away from the restaurant and hunt down just what we need is a real gift. Also, a key tip to going to the market is making sure you get here early before all the good stuff doesn't get snatched up like someone like myself. We've got our eggplants for our charred eggplant sauce. Now it's just waiting in line. So one of the things that I'm always looking for at the farmer's market that Jim and Carmela do a great job of is always looking for more interesting and unusual fruits and vegetables. And so Jim and Carmela, for example, always have a lot of ancient heirloom varieties that are going to be a little bit more interesting, very short seasons. They'll have everything for 1 or 2 weeks, and that's kind of it often. And so that's going to be one of those situations, like for example, I bought a case of the Akane apples last week, one of my favorite roasting apples, that they're one of the few farmers here that grow them. And then they only had them for 2 weeks. So they have them this week and last week, and that's probably going to be it. That's what we get. We're going to run through that as for a dish. And when we're out, we're out. We can't do the dish again until next year. And that's one of my favorite reasons working with them. It kind of keeps me on my toes and forces me to kind of keep changing and adapting recipes based on what they have versus what I want. You know, there's a great chef once said, you know, why did you work for this chef in France? He said, I wanted to learn how to go to a farmer's market and learn how to buy onions. And he wasn't being silly at all. That's actually what he wanted to learn how to do, because it takes skill and practice to learn how to do some of these things. And so it's just, you know, don't be shy, just do it. These are poblanos, yeah? Yeah. Perfect. And then can I do 1 bunch of parsley as well? All right, so that's everything on our list for our lamb fat blistered cherry tomatoes. So now it's heading into the restaurant, and now we're going to show you how to cook it. So coming from the farmer's market, we're going to cook one of our classic dishes we bring back every year seasonally. This is going to be our lamb fat blistered cherry tomatoes with a little sour cherry jam, roast eggplant puree, fresh parsley, lots of flaky sea salt, and vinegar. We are going to start by getting our lamb fat nice and hot. So we get lambs from Oakville Farms up on San Juan Island. Very fatty, beautifully lambed, and some of them hog it or mutton, so a little bit fattier, so lots of really beautiful fat. So we start off by getting that lamb fat nice and smoking hot. So when we're waiting for that, we've got our cherry tomatoes. In this case, these were coming from Canales Farms. We have a little farm parsley coming from Regino Farms. We've got our roast eggplant puree, which we char for many hours to make. And then that's coming from Alvarez Farms. And then last up, we have a little bit of our preserved sour cherry jam, buying sour cherries from Jim and Carmela at Little Wing Farms. And so this is one of those dishes where for us, it's cooking seasonally, and we can't always do this dish for long periods of time. Based on the season, how many sour cherries we can buy is the big one. Sour cherries aren't grown by a lot of farmers here in Washington, And so when we buy them, we buy as much as we can, as much as we process. We preserve them so we can do this dish as long as we can. There's some weeks in the year when we can only do this dish for 2 weeks of the year, 3 weeks of the year. This year we were fortunate enough that we've had this on the menu now for probably about maybe 8 weeks now. And this is one of our favorite dishes. So we've got our lamb fat melted now. We're just waiting for it to get nice and hot. All right, so here we go. As we joke in the restaurant, fire in the hole. I would not suggest doing this at home. And if you do, make sure your cherry tomatoes are very, very dry and they're not freshly washed. So we've got that sizzle, we've got the nice cherry tomatoes cooking. That's good enough. Acting quickly, drain off that excess fat. We want a little bit of that fat in the bowl. And then from here, we add our nice red wine vinegar, a good amount of it. Torn parsley, good amount of flaky sea salt. Give this a good toss. This dish is about balance, the acid of the tomato, the flaky sea salt to cut through the saltiness of the fat, of the lamb fat. Lots of flaky sea salt to balance out that fat and those flavors. Always taste your food. Acid's great. Definitely need a little bit more flaky sea salt. This is one of those big things about cooking seasonally, is that dishes are always going to change based on the farmer that you buy from, the time of year, and so there's no recipe for this dish. You just gotta taste it. Every time it's going to be a little different. So then we've got a nice sour cherry puree, very heavily reduced sour cherry. Do a little smear of this on the plate. This stuff is like gold. Then we have our charred eggplant puree. We grill eggplants for about an hour over our charcoal grill. Very, very dark. They look almost entirely burnt. From those recipes, we really have to teach cooks to do it the right way, because often they'll think that I burnt them. Like, nope, you gotta burn them longer than that. And then we have our beautiful cherry tomatoes cooked in that lamb fat. Made their own little vinaigrette with cherry tomato juice, some of that vinegar, that lamb fat, and then little flaky sea salt to finish. A little extra olive oil. And then there you go, have it. One of our classic dishes at Off-Alley, our lamb fat blistered cherry tomatoes, flaky sea salt, red wine vinegar, parsley, sour cherry puree, and eggplant puree. Voila!